Hey, this is John Locke with Locke Division of J.D. Hudgens in Hungerford, Texas. I'm out here grazing cattle, having fun, learning, living the good life. And I just wanted to share a couple things with y'all today. We just wrapped up our Ian Mitchell Ennis workshop the other day. It was amazing. I keep getting the questions, well, what are some of the ahas? What are some of the takeaways that you've learned from Ian this time around? And I wanted to share a couple of those just very quickly. It's unreal that Ian opened my eyes to a lot of concepts a few years ago that it's taken me several years to start to comprehend. And every time he comes, it just builds and it builds and it builds. And I learned things that I've observed and I've had in my head and wondered what was going on. And now I've got the knowledge to understand what was happening. So there's a couple points I want to make very fast. The number one thing is if you're doing any of this stuff and you're not having fun or you're making it complicated, you're doing it wrong. I do a lot of stuff that people think is nuts, but I've been doing it for quite a few years now, and it's not really complicated to me, and the way that we do it, it is fun. So I talk about a lot of things, and I don't talk about these things so that you're saying that you should try these things right away, or you should go do this, or you should go do that. I'm just trying to get people thinking, and I'm not making suggestions. I'm not giving recipes or anything like that. Just trying to challenge people and open up your brains just a little bit to some different concepts. So number one thing I wanted to talk about was if you're not happy, if it's complicated, you're probably doing something wrong. The other thing, very simple. This is something that I didn't think about before until Ian came here for the consultation, and then we went through the course. We're grazing cattle right now this morning, on this Sunday morning, at about 275,000 pounds density. We do that a lot, but we change the shape of the paddock. And we have a paddock here that is about 50 foot wide by 900 foot long. So it's about an acre. We've got about 240 head on it. They probably average weight of 1,200 pounds when you consider heifers and all of that. So anyway, our density is somewhere around 250, 275. It's really not important. But what we would do in the past is we would graze a paddock that was about 400 foot wide by about 120 foot. So we've cut the width of the paddock in half, and we're twice as long, or a little over twice as long. We are trying to increase the trample. I had written off the possibility of trampling Bermuda grass in the past. It's like a spring. It's really hard to put on the ground. But our diversity is building a lot, and as you can see, there's a lot of cool season grasses in here that have gone to seed. There's some other warm season grasses besides Bermuda grass. And so we're trying our hand again at getting some trample. There's a couple of reasons why we're doing that. Ian felt like we're low on zotobacteria, and getting a green trample is important to put the green grass on the ground so that the bacteria in the soil can access it. They can start to multiply and get happy and improve your soil environment. Part of the reason why we are able to do that, let's trample more and have the cows harvest less of the energy from the grass, is because we have so much grass right now. I don't like to talk about our carrying capacity, stocking rate, and all that because people fixate on it. But we've got about 240 head on 550 acres. We're not utilizing all of it right now, and we've got way too much grass and way too few cattle. So what we're doing is we're investing in the future. If we can put some of this green stuff on the ground and we can get some better tramples and feed those bacteria, that should be an investment in the future. Animal performance is always the number one concern. If these cows aren't going to do well with the trampling more and harvesting less energy, then we'll do it a little less, but we'll still do it in some areas to invest in the future and see what positive benefit we can get. And it's sort of like an experiment. So there you go. That's my talking points for the day. Have fun, be happy, challenge yourself, think about what you're doing, and get out there and move your cows.